I'm Trish. Welcome to this week's Weird Wednesday Rabbit Hole reading. I thought I'd touch base on the Leave the World Behind Netflix series and we'll have a little look at that. Now, I'm not going into, because there's lots of hidden messages there, and this card here is about what's hidden. So, and that's why I've chosen to read on this today. I'm not going to go into doom and gloom, what's hidden, because I feel like the reason behind this movie is to have us co-create the outcome. So if we all dwell on, these outcomes, then we're kind of bringing that into fruition because we're all focusing on it. So I'm not going to read it in that way. I'm going to read it in the way of, is there a hidden meaning? Like, what's the motives behind it? Why are they doing this? What's the motives behind releasing such a movie like that? So that's how I'm going to read it today, so I'm not dwelling on it, because my personal opinion on that movie is that it was and I watched it, but I watched it and I felt like as it came on, I felt like I had to put all this protection around me, and I feel like I had to protect my energy and also say that I do not intend anything, and I hadn't even seen the movie, but I felt the need to say I'm not going to bring into fruition any part of this movie. So I really had to feel I had to put that protection around me and not be used in that way. So that there was a little bit of a red flag. Also, I feel like there's some really loud frequency sounds in that movie, and I think they're very dangerous. So I feel like if you haven't seen the movie yet, you start to hear it, just mute through those sounds. I had a dream many years ago about frequency sounds just like that. And in the dream, they were showing me they killed birds and fish. So they were going through testing different frequencies to, for one thing, it caused all birds to drop out of the sky and die, and then it was killing fish in the water, and it was like them testing frequencies to do this. And then in the dream it told me that they've now found the frequency for humans. So they've found that frequency that affects us. So I don't know if it causes some kind of whatever. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm just saying if you haven't seen the movie or if you're going to watch it again, just mute through that sound, because I don't think that frequency sounds very safe. And as I said, I really felt the need to have to put some kind of protection around myself before watching that movie. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But we're going to have a look now at the motives behind that movie. So first of all, we're going to see if there's any motives why they released the Leave the World Behind movie. Okay, let's have a look what the cards have to say about this movie, Leave the World Behind, and what the motives are behind releasing such a movie. Okay, so the first card that's come out is Gone or Reset. So it's like they're trying to do a reset. It says removed or no longer here, but I feel like the reason for this card is that they're trying to do a reset. And I feel like that reset needs human intervention, or needs us as co-creators to bring through whatever it is that they're trying to reset. Timelines also here. I feel like they're trying to change the timeline or reset the timeline. DNA advance here, so there's something about the DNA. So I'm feeling that's the frequency, the noises that was coming through. Somehow the resets the DNA, does something to the DNA. So it vibrates it in some way and causes something. So again, take caution on that sound that's in that movie. I think it's very dangerous. Now I'm seeing here reset, because we've got reset and mud floods coming up. That's making me think going underground is what they're making me think right now. How Elon Musk has just bought a place in Hawaii. It's the other thing that's come up. Okay, place in Hawaii. They're flooding me with a lot here now. With a bunker underground. So gone underground. Gone reset. Gone underground. Land covered over, but it's showing me here. I'll just show you the image that made me think of it is underground. And I can just get the card. It's called Mud Floods, the card. It talks about a civilization covered over by mud, but it's drawing me down to bunkers underground. Now, what that made me think of is Elon Musk buying a place in Hawaii with a bunker. Part of that movie, there was a scene where there was a plane crash in one of the yards, and the first thing I noticed in that scene was all the blue things, the blue bits all over the place. It was like all this rubbish all over the place and wreckage everywhere, but blue parts just all standing, and it's a certain kind of blue. It's you'll know it when you see it. It's that kind of certain blue. Maybe this blue here, like it's a kind of like that blue in here, just kind of strewn all over the yard. That made me think of the Hawaii. See, we're getting some connections here. So it made me think of the Hawaii disaster, the fires where, you know, cars were melting or things were melting, and it was really intense fire. But then you would see in this wreckage of this fire that there would be a blue umbrella unburned, or something else that was blue, a blue car. Like all these cars were melted in this, you know, intense fire and heat, but the blue car was fine. So that made me think of that when I watched the movie. I watched and saw that, and I thought, oh, that's kind of like the wreckage from the Hawaii fires. So that's one thing. And then when I was asking about it, it made me think of Elon Musk buying a place in Hawaii with a bunker. So isn't that interesting that the cards are talking like that, and yeah, making me think about that part of the movie. Interesting. Now, it doesn't say laser technology anywhere here, but I know there's some kind of connection there. If you'd go down rabbit holes around to that Hawaii fires, you might find something around laser technology. Nothing here in the cards on that, because I'm not actually asking on that, but it's just interesting how there's a connection. I think there's a connection there. I'm back. So I was just talking about how I believe there's a connection between that movie, the reset that they're trying to do, the change of the timeline, or what they're trying to change. I'm getting a lot of echoes in my ears actually. And then I just had a drama go on in the background there, so it kind of just knocked me out of it. So I was going quite deep, and I just kind of got knocked and just brought back, so now it's making me feel a little bit dizzy, and I'm feeling like a lot of echoey kind of feelings going on there in the back of my in hollowness kind of going on. I just feel a little bit dizzy because I felt like I was just brought back out of it so suddenly. Anyway, I'll get back into it. Okay, that rattled me a little bit. I've got to say, I don't know, and I was talking about the connection between the movie Hawaii, the Hawaii disaster, Elon Musk, not Elon Musk, it was Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg bought the place in Hawaii, not Elon Musk. Sorry about that, I do apologise. But there was a connection there that I was diving into before all this happened, and I got zapped out of it. Anyway, getting back to it, I'm seeing on top of the cards here is saying third dimension, fifth dimension, grounding. Okay, so there's one thing, grounding right there. Okay, so what I'm feeling is that I believe there's an opportunity to kind of move or raise vibration and move from third dimension to fifth dimension. And I feel like that opportunity came in around, I've got something else going on here as well, came in around the last solar eclipse. That energy started coming in. Now, so there is an opportunity there for us to move timelines or dimensions. I don't know how it works, but it's saying third to fifth timeline change, an opportunity to move is what the cards are saying. But what they're trying to do is ground us here because it's ground us here and do a reset. So some kind of reset that happens, because they don't want us to move on. They don't want the timeline to change in a more positive favour, and I feel like that's the opportunity for us to have a more positive timeline, but whoever it is in control, or I'm not sure how much I can say, doesn't want that to happen, so they're trying to cause some kind of reset, and I feel like they need us to enact that reset, and that's what the motive is behind the movie here. Teach and share your gifts card, I'm not quite sure why that's come out. Gratitude, I know why that's come out. Okay, so that's a very, very big important thing here. So it's very, very important for us to stay in a vibration of gratitude, bliss and love. So you've got your vibrations going on here, and they want us to move into that really base vibration of fear and drama, and it grounds us here, it really holds us here, it holds us in this dimension is what I'm picking up. So grounding us here in this fifth dimension is that fear-based energy, that negative energy, dwelling on, oh, is this an apocalyptic movie? What's the and don't get me wrong, I love conspiracies. I love to decode movies and you know, work out what's being said here, but I feel like they're trying to get us to do that because that's grounding, especially when we have really high energy. I feel like they're trying to get us caught up in that decoding to ground us into that negative energy. So I feel like it's really important not to do that because we have a really beautiful opportunity to move out into a different timeline or move across dimensions or up dimensions or something. I'm not a physicist, so I don't know. I love physics. I do like to look into it, but I'm definitely not a physicist, so I don't 100% understand it. But this is what the cards are showing me, that the motives behind that movie is to ground us here in this energy, this fear-based energy. So we're not supposed to be dwelling on it and, you know, decoding every little thing. As much as I love to do it and people like me love to get in there and decode this stuff and see what's going on and what messages it is, it causes us to watch and rewatch, and you know, it does something to us. It's doing something to our DNA, especially that sound is doing something to the DNA. So anyway, but getting back to what took me on that little tangent is the card of gratitude. So that's that energy of negativity, fear-based energy, keeps us grounded in this energy, which is where they want us to be. So where we've got that opportunity to grow, they want to do some kind of reset. So we lose that opportunity to rise or grow or you know, make things more positive, make things better, improve the situation, change the timelines, whatever it is that's going on here. They want to reset it so that option is no longer here, no longer available. That option is removed, and the card actually says that. So that option is then removed, and the way to do that is to put us into this grounded vibration of negative emotions and fear. But what the cards are saying is really, really important at this time to stay in those higher vibrations, the higher moods of love, gratitude, bliss. So sit in that beautiful positive energy of love, gratitude and bliss. More so for all the people that are sitting in that worrying negative energy of, I've got 2 DNA cards here by the way too, that DNA card, that's very interesting, sitting on the top of the pile like that, along with this DNA card here as well. Okay, this is a fractured DNA. Fracturing the DNA. I do think the DNA is like holds code, and I feel like it kind of what they're showing me here is that it's coded to move forward, so it's coded to evolve and to grow. But I feel like if they can fracture that DNA, I'll just bring that one in there. If they can like fracture it, you can see our little fractures there. Fracture the DNA, then it prevents us from, it keeps us grounded. So the grounded card's right here. It keeps us grounded. It doesn't allow us to evolve, or this is the higher self card, so to move into that higher self frequency. It's important that, like for them, that they keep us grounded on this timeline, even though some people are looking at getting bunkers to go underground. Now that's bringing me back to a reading that I did about 2 weeks ago. I did a Weird Wednesday reading. I didn't post it because I didn't get to finish it. I was talking, the cards wanted to talk about a future, something going on in the future, and what came out was this utopian energy where everybody was asleep, everybody was being told that this life was good for them, whatever this life that they were living in the future. And I thought, well, that's really weird because so many people are waking up now at this time. What caused us to go from everybody now waking up, because there's a lot of people waking up, especially since the lockdowns. A lot more people have started to open their eyes to things and wake up to things. What has caused everybody to go back to sleep? So in this future timeline, or this future that I was looking at in the cards, it was showing a kind of like utopian community where everybody lived a life that they thought was wonderful, but they were all asleep and they were just told that this was wonderful, so they just believed it. And then I thought, yeah, well, how do we get from here to there? And the 2 cards that fell out were sun cards. So 2 sun cards fell out. So I think something's going on around sun. and solar energy. So I don't know, and then that brings me back to the readings that I did on the solar eclipse. Something was going on with the solar eclipse. Now I don't think, well, obviously we're not in this utopian situation, we're not all asleep, so I don't think that eclipse did it, but I feel like something's going on around the sun. So it could be like that sunspot that's on the sun that's been discovered, or the energy that's being sent towards Earth, something going on around that. But I felt like this reading that I'd done was quite far in the future, so it's nothing that we'll ever see, nothing, it was quite far in the future, but something led to us, all of us being awake, to a reset that happened where we all went back to sleep, or on a different timeline, and what triggered that was something related to the sun. So the sun, it was 2 sun cards. Okay, anything else here out of this? A different way of thinking, reassess, unveiling, revealing it as it is. So revealing the situation as it is. So, and then this one over here is a ticking clock. Now I did feel like this was connected to something else I was just saying, the reset that they're trying to do. They're trying to lock us in here. Whatever this is that's going on, they're trying to lock us in here into the fear-based energy now. Because this card here says, happening now. Ticking clock happening now. So, and what's happening now is them trying to lock us into a fear-based energy, fear-based emotion, because that locks us here, grounds us onto this timeline. So, yeah, really important. The cards are saying is try and keep your energy up, try and be in the energy of gratitude, being kindness to others, just grateful for your life, grateful for, everything around you. So I'm picking up something around that as well. Okay, that's got me questioning something about, it's a whole nother reading, a whole nother rabbit hole. That's got me questioning something about reincarnation. Being grateful for this opportunity, but being locked into it. Okay, I feel like the tangent they're taking me off there is completely unrelated, but okay, I need to clarify that, because I feel like we need to stay in this high vibration, especially given that a lot of people will be in that fear base. So we kind of need to counteract that a little bit. But now they're giving me something here about sun. There's the sun. Missing flames, or missing air, missing. So, okay. When something goes missing, I don't know if that's like a ship or a plane or something physical, or a person disappears, but there's something going on around. Okay, this is the movie actually, now that I look at it. That's exactly what the movie's about. It's about people just going missing. Planes dropping out of the sky and people going missing. Okay, this card says life force. It's related to the sun, and it says it's good for you. This is what I was thinking about when I was talking about that last deep dive that I did that I didn't post. Okay, what are you trying to show me here? I wasn't going to dwell on the movie, but this card is okay. What were they getting at when they were showing people being missing? New Earth, living elsewhere. Okay, so in that movie, when there was people missing, like in that cabin where there was indentation of somebody sleeping that wasn't there anymore, all the people that were no longer there on this, tourist beach, there was no one there, or there was a few people there, but there was like people missing and planes dropping out of the sky, and then it's saying they were living elsewhere. So that's what I'm feeling like it's connected back here to ascension almost. Like, I know they call that in the Bible, Okay, I know that's in the Bible, the rapture. Here in the cards, they're showing me it as raising the vibration, people missing in the movie, and on a new earth or a new existence. So a new earth or even a new timeline, because a timeline card's out there as well. So mud flood, I felt like, was the bunkers underground. That could be people going into hiding. Okay, I don't want to swear here, but if the proverbial hits the fan, then some people will need to go into hiding. But they are trying to do what they can to stop that from happening. They're trying to reset. They're trying to reset it in some way. Now we've got two clocks here going on. One is saying they're manipulating time. They're trying to manipulate it. They're trying to manipulate the timeline here. But it's all happening now. This is going on now. So what we can do is try and just be positive. Not get caught up in that negativity. So the overall reason I'm reading on this is the motives behind the movie. The motives behind the movie. I feel like it's got something to do with, and then we get here about something missing, and the movie being missing people and planes just dropping out of the sky. So that's again bringing me back to the movie, and it's bringing me back to that element of the movie. So the motive behind the movie is that element of the movie. It's about not allowing that to happen. So, if this is like a biblical thing where there's like a rapture, it's like trying to find a way to reset it so that doesn't go ahead, so that doesn't happen. For us, what we can do is just, all we can do is really just focus on love and life and gratitude, because when I brought this up before, it was been bringing me through to reincarnation as well, which I think that might all be related to rapture as well. Okay, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent here as well. So let me, because I'm feeling like I'm going down three rabbit holes is how I feel. I'm like trying to converge these three rabbit holes, but they're three different rabbit holes, three different things that's going on here. Okay, so I'm going to pull one more card from here and one more card from my other. Okay, and this is the card we've got. Elites. Okay, I'm not going to read any further on that one there. That's the elites. When I say they, that's who I'm talking about. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a card from here and just see if there's any final message here. Any final message around this movie and the motives behind releasing this movie. Okay, that's a big clump of cards. That's too many. Okay, favourable outcome. Okay, what I've got out of this, and this is not my rabbit hole deck, but this is my rabbit hole card. So you can see rabbit hole, curiosity. So there's a curiosity here, and from my general deck, it's bringing out rabbit hole. So where I said I'm trying to join together three rabbit holes, we're looking at rabbit holes, and here it's also one's related to soul and spirit. So like this is a soul card and a spirit team card. So it's somehow connected to our souls and our connection with spirit, or our connection there as well. So this is a little bit deep actually, this reading. Favourable outcome, get away. So it's like we'll get away, like it's a favourable outcome, the cards are saying. Now over here on this side, it is saying there's chaos. So there's going to be some kind of chaos, or perhaps the chaos is already going on, already playing out. Perhaps already the chaos that's going on in the world is partly responsible for the negative energy, and that's intentionally done. So whether or not there's going to be a little bit more chaos going on around us, it's saying that we just need to relax. The relax card is there. We are going to get away. Okay, inactivity. Okay, these cards is making me think about the element in the movie of the prepper. So the prepper. These cards are showing me the prepper element to that movie. So this is a prepper card here. This is a prepper card. This card is a card of hibernation and winter is coming. So it's about, in a general sped, when I'm reading this generally, it's about a time where things are a little bit quieter. You're maybe not working as much. It's a time to prepare for winter. Winter being not quite so busy as summer. Maybe you're not working as much. You maybe need to stock up and store food, like the bear does. So that's what this kind of card means generally. So in a context of this kind of question that we're asking, it's saying we need to get our support teams. This is our support teams and our networks around us. So, come together socially in a social network, or come together with others, like-minded others, and preparation card. So preparation and support is what brings a favourable result where we can get away. I'm kind of not sure if I want to dwell on that part anymore. Anyway, you can make of that however you wish. That's just what the cards have come out when I asked about that question. So yeah, that was really interesting. So hopefully I really didn't want to take this to a negative place. I really want it to be a focus on understanding what the motives are behind why something like this might be released, rather than focusing on watching it over and over again and becoming scared about the situation. Cards are overall saying that, either way we're going to be okay. So no matter what happens, our soul, we're going to be okay as a soul, because if we can just not get caught up in it and caught up in the trap or the reset or whatever, our soul, our beautiful soul, is going to be okay. So nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear here, and that's what's most important. It's about being in gratitude and being grateful and living in that love vibration. So, and I know that sounds very Aquarian and I am part Aquarian. I'm Aquarian ascendant, so it is kind of sounding a little airy fairy, and I always do like to pull myself back when I try to go too far down that area. But it is kind of saying that we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I think it's almost like a spiritual warfare where something. How I'm seeing it is like two options of two timelines. So on one scenario where we're heading towards beautiful opportunity, a golden age, beautiful opportunities of more harmony and raising ourselves, being more open. We all have our eyes open more. We get into a state where we can take a stand and see what the world needs, having better leaders, having even if it's not leaders, even if it's not having a community, like where I talked about that reading that I did, where something around the sun, and the sun's come out in this reading, that leads us to a utopian kind of era where it's good for us, but everybody's asleep. So really trying to, very strange. It's strange that I keep coming back to that reading. So that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing opportunities, okay? I'm seeing two timelines going out here. One is the opportunity for us to grow and develop and do things better than what we're doing now, be accountable for our actions, understand that we need to be more humanitarian with each other. And then I'm seeing that opportunity coming for us, where we've got the opportunity to ascend. Some might say it's ascend, some might say call it rapture, some might call it because we've got the disappearing card, some might call it ascending from we might even ascend with the earth, who knows, I don't know, but going from third to fifth. So I'm just talking about the cards that are laying on the table right at this moment. But then I'm seeing another timeline where to get to that timeline, we have to be living in fear. We have to have all this crazy stuff going on around us, the chaos card, which I packed away. All this negativity has to be going on around us, because that is going to ground us here in the third dimension, and that keeps us on the timeline that's preferred by some people, to keep us on that negative kind of timeline. So it's almost like we're at a crossroads of having that option, because it's saying the time is now, and that's what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like they're trying to reset it. They're trying to reset the timeline, because we're heading that in this good way, but they're trying to reset the timeline, so we're grounded here. We're stuck here. There is no rapture. I'm calling it rapture because this card is bringing me back to missing people. Other people call it ascending to 5D. So whichever way you look at it, the cards are saying it's on the table, but I feel like that it's also on the table, the plan of pushing us to be grounded and stuck here. So I feel like we all have a choice to make, and I feel like we make those choices by the actions that we take every day, being accountable for what we do, and being able to choose to live in a certain mentality. And I feel like that's not dwelling on those kind of negative things. But it's very interesting that it did try to bring me back into the movie and little elements about that movie. So I feel like, yeah, it was just trying to highlight to me, well, I didn't want to really get into the movie with the cards. It was trying to but I did want to ask the motives behind it. I think it was really trying to highlight what part of that movie was important for them to cause these two different timelines. Anyway, that was a fun, exciting little rabbit hole there. I feel like there could have been 3 rabbit holes we could have went down there. But anyway, we'll look at another one next week. So thank you for joining me.